Welcome to Culmination, where we're not experts, but we sure have a lot to say. In the process of becoming our best self, I have with me the aspiring computer science engineer, Jordan Scott, to discuss practice and its effects. And with that, let's get started. So, Jordan, what is practice in your own words?
So practice to me is bettering yourself, like getting better at something or something specific to be exact. Getting better at something specific or multiple things at one time, but repeating the action over and over again. I've heard that to truly become a master at something, you need to do it for a cumulative of 10,000 hours. I've probably become a master at two things at most in my life, but I'm still practicing to this very day. And one of those things is music. I've not become a master at music, but I'm still practicing it every single day. And I think a good example of my practicing is probably with my marching band story. So I'll start from the very beginning.
The
Um,
very beginning.
Indeed. So marching band, I always wanted to do something extracurricular or like a sport or something, but I wasn't able to because of certain medical conditions. One of those limiting my actual physical activity. Um, and so I was never able to really march. I tried to marching trumpet for like maybe the first week. I wasn't able to. So I switched to rack. Rack is something that not a lot of people may like being on. It has a certain stigma
Well,
that
wait, first of all, what is rack? Or what is the rack?
I should probably explain that first. Thank you. The rack is so it's like a metal bar or metal cage almost where you just put instruments on it. Like you have cymbals, a bass drum, and a gong, and a few
Okay.
drums. And it's pretty rinky dinky sometimes. And like I said, a lot of people wouldn't like being on it, and I got put on it my first year, and I got put on it my second year as well. Um, but I think my approach to it, I think I took the right approach to it because the way I think about something is like if I can get good at this, then I can get good at something else as well.
Hmm.
Like if I practice as much as I can get off the rack and onto bass drum, and that was my mindset for 3 straight years.
And that's what you wanted to do, right?
Correct. Well, I first started off wanting to do snare. I wanted to do snare to starting off, but I switched to bass drum, just a change of preference. But
Hmm.
that still doesn't change how I thought. I wanted to get better at drums, and so I practiced, and I practiced, and I practiced some more. And I also took private lessons, and I still practice after those private lessons. Um, and I did get not a lot of shit, but I did get something from other people saying like, "Dude, you're still on rack. I don't think this thing is cut out for you."
Right. And mind if I just explain a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I was in the front ensemble, which is this front section of the marching band that I've explained this in other culmination episodes as well, but I was a marimba and a vibraphone at one time. And Jordan was in the rack with me. Not with me, but he was on the rack in the section with me for the first 2 years. And the rack is the reason why it gets a bad reputation is because it's essentially the instrument that you play on or you're placed on when you're either an eighth grader because there's not enough people in marching band, somebody who failed the audition for bass drum or snare drum, like to march, or somebody who just really did not want to play like a mallet instrument like vibraphone, marimba, or xylophone. Um, But Jordan had unique circumstances, that being his medical conditions that he mentioned earlier. So it's usually unusual for people to stay on rack for more than one season. And when you account Winter Drumline, that was 4 seasons essentially.
Mhm.
So that's mostly why he got the flack. There's nothing objectively wrong with the instrument, but it's just that reputation that it has.
Yeah, it's the stigma, like, I agree completely. It's the stigma of, wow, you're bad if you're on rack. If you're still on rack after a season, then you're bad. Um, and I wish I could rephrase that to be better, but I feel like that's just how it is.
Hmm.
And, like, going off of that, it's like I sometimes I even thought to myself, like, "Why am I still doing this?" And then I immediately thought to myself afterwards, because I want to get better. I'm still doing this because I want to get better, and in order to get better, I need to practice more.
And
And,
it wasn't your misfortune, it was just like, "I'm here." You thought of it less like, "Okay, I'm doomed, tied down to the rack, and I'm stuck here forever," and more like, "Maybe this is like maybe I was placed here purposefully because I'm meant to learn the lesson to get better."
yeah, like, I like to think about it like, these were the cards I was dealt at the very beginning, and, I think I can still win with these cards.
Mm,
And think about it like life is like a game of poker. Like, no matter what cards you're given, you still have to try your best. Like,
mhm,
don't let anything get to you, and don't let it show. Like, you have to be able to push through anything. And if you can
yeah,
push through anything, then you will become the most powerful person. Um,
that's a great metaphor because it's like, even if you have a losing hand, you could always bluff or, like,
correct,
it's all
correct.
the mannerisms and everything.
Yeah. And, that takes a lot of work. That takes a lot of, I guess, practice.
Right,
'Cause, like, it's not easy being able to, being able to shrug off stuff. Like, I had to get good at that. Like, I wasn't innately good at shrugging off stuff.
mhm.
Um, like, that took time to get good at, and, I'm glad by the time I actually got to high school, I was good enough shrugging off, like, flack or or bad misfortune, not even misfortune,
Like,
just
thicker
bad things.
skin?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm glad I had thicker skin by that time because if I didn't, I don't think I'd persevere. I don't think I would've kept going. But,
Mm.
back to the topic at hand or back to my story. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so on my 3rd year marching band, I finally got on bass, and I was on bass 1. It was rough. It was really, really rough. Um,
Well, how did you get there? Like, what if you were placed on rack because you couldn't march because of medical conditions,
I
how
should
did you
probably
do
explain
that?
that. So what I did was I worked out. I had never worked out a day in my life before freshman year. Um And it was really rough. I had to do so me and my mom started off, small. Well, mainly I did. She just drove me there. Um, we went to a mall and, we spent, I think, about 5 hours the first day just walking around, the entirety of the mall, just walking. We never took a break. Um, and, it started off with walking, and then we started off with jogging, and then we jogged around the mall for about 2 hours, the next day, and then we alternated between those 2, and without stopping, and then also I had to learn how to lift weights and stuff. That was also another learning experience, and, practicing on how to, actually lift weights is really rough for me because I have to be careful. I have so many medical conditions that, I'm essentially not supposed to be doing physical activity. Um,
Hmm,
but my doctors, even my doctors are surprised that I managed to get to where I am. Uh And I think that says something, like, if I can do it, I think a lot of people can do it if I can do it. 'Cause I was not really supposed to be marching, but here I am. Uh, was
and
prob
no issues too, right?
Yeah, no issues at all, really. And it's all because, I kept working out every single day. And so, before rehearsal or when that first rehearsal came around, um, when I first picked up that bass drum, I still I like I it was really, really heavy for me. Base 1 was really, really hard, for me, in the first season. In the
Hmm,
first season I played it. Um, and I think I really wanted to give up at that point because it was like, "Well, now I'm here, but what do I do now?" It's really hard. I practiced so much, but, it feels like it did nothing. But
right.
in reality, it actually did a lot for me. Like, I don't think I realized it back then, but I don't think I would have made it through that season. If I didn't work out. And then also if I wanted to stay on base, I was afraid of getting kicked off base because what if I'm not good enough? What if I can't play this music? Because when I first took a look at the music, I'm like, what do I do here? I don't even know what this is. Like,
It's like all these pressure forces from everywhere, like, almost telling you this was a bad idea.
yeah, and I started having regrets for a little bit, and I'm like, what did I work so hard for? But then I finally started getting the hang of it, and I started having fun. Well, that is after, someone named Miles, should I explain who Miles is?
Sure, without being negative.
Gotcha, alright, so Miles was a guy who was very honest about what he was thinking, I will say that. Um,
Mhm.
and, he would give you criticism, and that criticism would be helpful, but, it's tough love. Um,
Right.
and I was not very used to tough love at the time, cause well, I mean, I was used to people being honest with me, but just not tough love. Um,
Yeah, like nice or flowery to condition the fall versus just like being blunt, I guess.
there we go. Yeah, he was very blunt and very like I said, very honest about his feelings.
Hmm.
Um, and like at like that, it kind of pissed me off at the time, but I'm like, I gotta work through this. Um, and I feel like I'm gonna do a quick flash forward to the first performance of our Winter Drumline
Sure.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go back to the original story, but I do want to say this because I feel like it does have some importance.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Um, there for like flash forward to our first show of Rings True, our first Winter Drumline season. Um, we finished the show. I was still on rack at the time, but we finished the show. I was I I was so crippled. Like that was I think that was the first time I actually realized this is gonna be really, really rough. Like if I'm gonna want to even play bass drum performing in Winter Drumline, or
Hmm.
even on the or even on the field, for that matter. And I guess I will tell the story about how I pretty much was a crippled for the rest of the day. So we finished the show. We come back out. I had a muscle spasm, and this is a result of me not working on settling my nerves because I had only worked on I was only used to an environment that I was used to, if that makes sense. Like I was used to it where I was used to like performing in an environment that was like on a field, not in like a stadium or not a stadium,
Was
like
it
a
just like the
convention center.
change that
Yeah,
got
I
you?
think it was the change. Like I was not used to it at all. Um,
Okay.
and I think that really got to me. And that made me realize, well, now I need to practice even more. Not only do I need to practice music, but I also need to practice being able to handle like nerve-wracking situations.
Right.
Um, because like before that time, like I was cruising through life pretty well. Thinking, well, I hadn't encountered anything that like made me too nervous because I was pretty confident about a lot of stuff.
Hmm.
Um, and then that happened, and I was like, well, now I got to start working on it. Um, but going back to marching band.
Yeah.
So we hit sophomore year. I get put on rack again. I'm like, God dang it, this is sad. But Mr. Lamb, I think Mr. Lamb told me like if you keep
The
practicing,
director.
you will get on base. Um, and I like I almost wanted to stop because I didn't feel like that was true at the time. I mean, I did get on base eventually, but like at the time, I felt so angry and I felt like so betrayed, I guess, if that's the
It was
word.
like he was baiting you, right?
Yeah, like I felt like I was just being toyed with. But I decided to keep pushing forward because I mean, what else am I gonna do? Like I wanna get better. I wanted to keep getting better. So I kept practicing every single day. Um until junior year auditions came out for marching band and I got on bass. I got on bass one. But
Right.
I feel like the time in between I feel like sophomore year was the year that I experienced the most like flack. I'm gonna use that word a lot just so you're ready. Like I experienced a lot of flack from people, like not only from people in the drum line, but also people like just my friends who aren't even in marching band.
What?
Yeah, like, I told them about it and, like, I told them what the rack was, and they're like, "Dude, that sucks, but, like, you need to get better. Like, maybe you shouldn't even try that anymore." Like, that's quite literally someone actually just said that to me, like, "Maybe you should just give it up."
Right.
'Cause, like, with all your medical conditions, you might not be like, not even might, you shouldn't be able to do it. Um, and that really I felt like that really hurt, it really hurt me at that time. But I feel like the way I handled that, like, I handled those feelings was, Imma prove them wrong. I'm gonna prove them wrong, and I'm actually gonna do it. I'm gonna become the baseline section leader. That's
Yeah.
my goal now.
That
Um,
determination.
yeah, like, I feel like the way I think about an insult or I think about someone saying I can't do something is, I want to prove you wrong because I can do anything you can do
Right.
just as well. Um And maybe and it might also just be my stubbornness, but I feel like it's a really good mindset to have. Like, if you can think about if you're blocked by something, or if you're stopped by someone, think about what you can do. Like, if they say you can't do something, figure it out for yourself. What they say doesn't really matter. It's
Mhm.
about what you believe in.
Right.
Because if you believe that you can do something, then you can do it. And that's like that was my pushing drive for like the entirety of sophomore year to keep practicing. And like
You just
yeah,
have to want it.
like I really wanted it. Like and even sometimes like I felt like maybe they're right. Maybe I should just be content with rack. And I think for about a week or so I was like that's how I thought. And I kind of just stopped practicing. But then I thought to myself, like, what am I doing right now? Like I'm not getting any better. And I'm not like I'm just here just to be here. And that made me really sad. Like, I had to think about some stuff for, like, a bit. And, one day at rehearsal, I feel like I feel like I had enough. Like, I didn't have an outburst, but I felt like I had enough of just sitting there idly. And so I started practicing again, but with a different mindset this time. I started practicing with the mindset of, "How can I get better at the little things?" If you can
Hmm.
start practicing the little things one by one, then the big things won't even matter anymore. It's all
Yeah.
about, like, the little things. It's the little things in life, as people say. Um,
Mhm.
and once I started thinking about it like that, I started noticing I got a lot better a lot quicker. Like, I wasn't trying to like, I started off trying to practice the 16th note accent tap, which just for you people out there, it's not something easy. Like, you shouldn't be starting off with that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's really hard to do that, to play that, and I was trying to play that within my first, like, week or so of, picking up drumsticks for the first time, and, yeah, it didn't go too well for me, so I decided to start practicing full down tap up. I started from square one,
Like
and
a basic exercise.
yeah, and it felt kind of embarrassing to have to, like, start from square one because all my life I had felt like or it had been like I had been in accelerated courses or I had been in, like, an advanced or an honors program, um, because I was just naturally good at everything I did until I tried playing drums. Because you have to learn how to train your muscles, and you have to learn how to, like, move your muscles correctly so you don't hurt yourself, um and it felt really embarrassing having to start from square one with everybody else and not just being on top immediately.
Mhm.
And I felt like that also like, during that time, I also got a change of character. Um, not like I became more stoic or I became, like, happier. It's more like I became more I saw the world in a way of, like, I'm not better than anyone else, but I'm just as good as everyone else. I'm not worse than anybody else. Um, like,
Mhm.
I can do anything they can do. I just have to put in the time to do it.
It's just confidence.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think I got knocked down a peg by full down tap up because I like that exercise I feel like I spent so long on it that it's just become natural to me like to do it.
Yeah.
And it should have been. And I also thought about it like I'm starting drums freshman year of high school. These people have been playing since 6th grade, maybe even 5th grade. I didn't even know what a drum clef was or yeah, I didn't even know what a percussion clef was at the time. Um, and,
I mean,
like
it really isn't anything. It's just
yeah, that's the thing. It really isn't anything. Um, and so, like, I looked at a percussion clef and I'm like, "What does this even mean?" All the notes are on the A line, like, 'cause I had played trumpet before, so I know how to read music, but never before had I seen so many 16th notes or so many 8th notes in a row, um,
on the same line.
yeah, on the same line. And it dumbfounded me, and I'm like, "I have to play this?" Like, when I first looked at, what's it called? What's it called? The 5-minute or the 5-minute practice pad sequence, which is it's just like it's a packet of just normal, like, basic exercises, like,
Mhm.
it's what you would do in, like, 5th and 6th grade or 7th or 8th grade even. Um, and, like, I looked at it for the first time, I looked at the 16th note section, and I'm like, "They expect me to play this? How do I do this? Like, how do these people move their hands so fast?" And so, like, I had to practice how to not throw my wrist out, like, how to freaking dislocate my wrist.
Right.
It was the craziest time of my life because, like, I just didn't understand it, and I felt really frustrated at the time, but I just kept going. And I
Right.
feel like that's something that a lot of people can learn from. Like, you just need to keep going. If you don't understand something, either A, ask for help, B, keep going, or C, do both.
You
Ask for help
also
and
have to
keep going. Know your limits as well.
know your
Um,
limits, but also why you're doing this.
yeah, you're like, if you're practicing for nothing, then I feel like, yeah, you can keep doing it, but I don't think it's as effective as if, unless you have a goal. Like, if you have a
Right.
goal when you're practicing, like, if you have a goal of, "I want to be able to play this by the end of this week. I want to be able to play, 8s by the end of this week." Um, then that's a realistic goal if you're able to play eighth notes. Um,
Mhm.
and I want to be at, like, and then a better goal would even be, I want to be able to play eights at 160 beats per minute. Uh all full strokes. And that's an even better goal. Like, it might not be realistic, but it's still, like, a more specific goal. Having a goal when you practice, I feel like is the best thing you can have.
Yeah,
Um,
and this goes for anything, practicing,
yeah,
like
practicing music,
yeah,
practicing how to even practicing how to walk, I guess. We walk like everyone walks. Like, we all learn how to walk. But, we all had to practice how to do that. We all
right?
started, by crawling. And, and now look at us, like, we can walk, and we can run, and we can jog, and we can move.
Yeah,
Um,
and using that example, it's like when we were young and we were learning how to walk, our failure, like when we would tumble over or just fall over, that would teach us that we were doing something wrong. So when we would get back up, we would walk better
yeah,
because of that mistake.
yeah. Um, and how should I say this? Like, we all learn how to walk, and then we finally get to do it, and then we're like, "Yay, I can do it." And now we keep practicing how to walk, and, like, there are people who out there who are running marathons 'cause,
Right.
they kept practicing that. Um,
Well,
and it's ama
practicing running and then distance running and then setting your own times.
Yeah, and it's amazing what the human body can actually do. Um And then, well, I'll migrate back to a marching band now. I'll finish up this marching band story, then
Yeah.
I also want to hop in onto some other stuff that I actually practice myself these days besides
Mhm.
music.
'Cause,
Um,
we're done with marching band, right?
yeah, we're done with marching band, like, here we are.
That's
Act
crazy.
actually, we have one last parade coming up soon or, like, in a month, but,
Shh.
um
No, you don't. We're done.
um,
Continue.
but, yeah, so, that's the end, like, from the beginning of sophomore year marching band season all the way up to junior year auditions, I just kept practicing every single day. And it was really hard, like, sometimes I just wanted to, like, take a day off, but I knew if I took a day off, I'd want to take the next day off.
Right.
And you have to be able to, you have to have that self-control of being able to say, "I need to keep doing this if I want to get better." You cannot lose determination. Like, determination is such a driving factor for me. Um, I don't know what your driving factor may be, but if you have a driving factor, then I feel like that should be what that driving factor is what should be pushing you to practice.
Yeah, you
Um,
just need a why, a cause.
yeah. And mine just happens to be determination, just innate determination. Uh,
Just innate determination.
and,
My
like, with me
determination is determination.
yes. And I finally got on base 1 my freshman not freshman year, junior year, and again, it was rough, being on base 1 because I did not know how to carry that bass drum at all, and
Mhm.
my body, like, even as much as I worked out and, prepared myself, it was still rough. I managed to get through it, but it was still rough, and, and I still had to, like, practice working out and, like, well, that's redundant. I had to keep working out and had to keep, like, building up my body strength because I was a very frail boy.
Mhm.
Um, I was a very frail boy. And then now at this like, today, I can lift up base 2 and even base 5. Um,
Ooh,
yeah.
which is the
Um,
biggest one?
yeah, I probably should have said that. Yeah, base 5 is very, very big.
Yeah,
Um,
1 through 5, it gets bigger.
yeah. Um, and that was really, really hard for me. Um, and recently, a couple of days ago, I was thinking to myself, "Wow, like, I've been the bass section leader." But, like, I also remembered I originally wanted to start off playing snare. Like, I originally wanted to play snare, but my doctor said, and this is something also that I had to like learn how to accept, and I'm I'm surprised. I surprised myself that I actually got through it. But
Uh-huh.
my doctor said you will never be able to pick up a snare drum and march in that marching band. Um, and that it was just because like just the way the snare drum like the snare drum is carried, I guess. I
Yeah.
didn't really understand it myself, but what I did understand was I will not be able to play snare drum, but I can play bass drum. Snare drum and quads are like the 6 or they're called quads, but they do have 6 drums. Uh,
Mhm.
I would never be able to play the snare drum in the quads, but I can play bass drum. And that's what made me change my goal from snare to, bass drum. And,
So
all the
how
yeah,
does
go ahead. Go ahead.
just a question for you. How does acceptance, that acceptance that you know for sure 100% like I can't dodge this bullet. Like you worked out which helped you basically overcome a lot of obstacles that you thought were impossible to overcome. But when it comes to something that you actually have to accept, I will never be able to do this. How does that fit into your own determination and practice?
So the topic of acceptance is it's not rough for me, but it's like it's so like I've tried to explain it to other people before.
Mhm.
I am just a very accepting person, but the way I am an accepting person is like I can't do like if I can't do this, then it is what it is. I hate having to say that, but that's my mindset. It is what it is,
Mhm.
unless you can do something about it. But like if I truly cannot dodge this bullet, as you said, like
Yeah.
if I truly cannot dodge a bullet, then it is what it actually is. You just have to learn how to keep pushing forward. Like so, like we are all gonna have like downtimes in our lives. Like we're all gonna have those. Trust me. Like I'm willing to bet like Casey, you've had your downtimes before.
Yeah.
Um, and I know plenty other people who have had their downtimes before as well. And
Or just low points.
yeah, low
I
points.
mean, I have plenty of downtime, but
um,
but I get what you mean, yeah.
yeah, like low points in our life or low points in your life are just unavoidable sometimes. And you just gotta learn how to keep going through them. Like if you can, like this is my philosophy. If you can go through a low point and not let it affect you to the point where you want to give up,
Mhm.
then I feel like you have won. I feel like it's a victory. That's a dub.
I agree.
Um, like if you can if you can accept something and still decide to keep going on, but this with a slightly changed goal, but with the same determination, you can keep going on.
Or
Like
even
we're all
revitalized determination.
yeah, like even revitalized determination. Um, cause like I feel like if you can, well, I've already said it, but like being accepting is something that I feel like I'm very good at. Like I didn't start off good at it. I should say this and be honest. I didn't start off good at being accepting.
Mhm.
It used to be either my way or the highway.
Yeah.
I'm not like that anymore at all. But
You've grown.
yeah, I've grown a lot in that regard. Um, I used to be like it's either my way or the highway. But now I'm like if it doesn't go my way, I can find a different road if I'm going to keep using that analogy. Like
Yeah.
I can build or find a different road to my final destination. Um,
I have another question for you, though.
yeah, go ahead.
Back to the low point. Using your marching band story that we've been talking about, what was the lowest, like the rock bottom low point of your marching band career? And what did that do for you? How did you get out?
Okay. This is I'm glad you asked this question because I almost forgot about it.
Hmm.
I think my lowest point in marching band was getting put on rack a second time, or getting put on rack. Well, are we gonna count winter drumline as well? Like,
Yeah,
is
because that's like a season, technically.
yeah. I think it was getting put on rack for on and off. On and off being our second season.
Our
Uh,
second winter drumline
yeah,
season,
second
technically
winter drumline
fourth
season.
season. It's confusing.
Yeah. Being put on rack for a fourth season. Um, because this is 4 times over that I've been put on the same instrument after
Right.
practicing for so much. Um,
So long, yeah.
yeah, and I like it really crushed me. Like I'm like, am I just never gonna be good enough, or will I like, can I truly not do it? And that really made like that it. I even cried for a couple days. Like whenever I thought about it, I cried, and I used to dread going to rehearsal. Because it's like I have to do this again. I had to do this thing again.
Were
Um,
you defeated?
yes, I was very, very defeated, but I got back up. I took a L, but I still had that round two, if that makes sense.
What made
Um,
you get back up?
I think what made me get back up was I want to get better, and I also want to see what bass drum is like.
Why
I
do you
also
want to get better?
It's just something within me that's saying like if you can get better at this, then you are better as like if you better yourself at something, I feel like you also grow as a person. As a person yourself. Like if I thought if I get better at music and if I get better at playing drums, I will also become a better person through practicing.
And why would you
Um,
want to become a better person?
becoming a better person. I mean, that's a simple question, dude.
I'm
Becoming a better
playing the
person
Y
means
game.
if you become a better person, you get all the ladies. All right, serious thing now. If you become a better person, I feel like you'll have more friends and you'll have better experiences. Like the better person you are, the more fun I think you get to have in life.
Okay,
Um,
that's a good
and
answer.
yeah, and I feel like don't live life not having fun. Like do what you need to do, but also make sure you're having fun. Like if
Or
you're
just
going through
enjoying
life
it.
every go ahead.
No, just enjoying it.
Yeah. Like if you're living life every single day just like it's just the same old routine over and over again, you're not even like having fun doing it or like making jokes here and there with your friends, then it's kind of like what's the point? Like I think life is way too short, I believe life is way too short to actually just not have fun.
Hmm.
Like again, I'm don't get me wrong, you need to do what you need to do, like do your homework, kids, or just do your work, but make sure you have time for yourself. Like don't go through life without having fun at least once.
But
Um,
is practice necessarily fun?
I find practice fun because I like the idea of getting better.
Okay.
Like the
Oh,
idea of
I see what you did there.
yeah,
Yeah.
I it's just like if I'm getting better at something, I get so much satisfaction from that. Um, it's not, and I'm not saying like I'm better. Like if I'm better at someone else, I get satisfaction. No,
No, but
I
better for you.
yeah, like
Better
I'm
than
doing
you
something
once
that's
were.
helping me right now. Like go ahead.
No, just better than you once were.
Yeah, like I feel like I've evolved even. Like not like a complete evolution, but like I've leveled up. Um
Yeah.
and that makes me really happy. And I'm also gonna try and segue into what I practice now besides music these days. Um
Right.
I
And
guess I'll
wait,
start off with yeah, go
before you
ahead.
do, I would just like to kind of give my own little anecdote, if you will.
Go ahead, yeah.
Um, to kind of close off the marching band story, I just kind of want to summarize it and kind of put it to rest before you
Yeah.
continue on, just with my point of view.
Yeah.
Um, so it is with my information since I actually stopped. I had 5 seasons of marching band and drumline combined, and then I stopped for my junior year of winter drumline. So for all that time, you were still going,
Mhm.
and obviously you ended strong. Didn't you say you were the bass section leader?
Yep, I've been the bass section leader for 3 seasons in a row now.
And that's crazy, man. Uh,
Yep.
and I just want to say, like, this wasn't, none of this was scripted or anything, but so I'm telling you this maybe for the first time, actually. So it's fitting that it's on camera, but, or on recording, but it seriously, it warms my heart to see you succeed like that. Like it really does. Like from the bottom of my heart, like damn, Jordan. Like I was
Thanks.
with you for those first 4 seasons, and then even when you went to the drum line, that 5th season of mine, which was my
Mhm,
last when I was section leader,
mhm.
just, like, there were points where I'll admit, like, I found you kind of annoying because you could be very high energy sometimes or,
Yeah,
like,
I
too
get that a lot, I
much.
get that a lot.
Yeah, but as a whole, even with those annoying moments or whatever, you just you killed it on rack, first of all, like, you were such a performer, and, like, me included and everyone else were just not really having it, like, we didn't like the idea of pulsing, which is meant to keep time, but also to just feel the groove. We weren't good at that, we didn't know what we were doing, and we didn't like it because, honestly, we were mostly academic people who didn't really wanna perform.
Mhm, mhm,
But here you were on this otherwise, like, critiqued, quote, unquote, "low status instrument," but just having the time of your life, just having fun with it at its core, and making it a respectable instrument just because you were doing so well. And just I know what you had to go through. I know that you had all these setbacks. I know that people made fun of you, even, like, to your face and behind your back. But
mhm.
in the like, I always knew in my heart that I was yeah, it is kind of sad that you were still there your 2nd year, but I was like, "You know what? Who cares? Like, who really cares? Because you're owning it, you're making it truly something special, and you're growing." And I've seen you grow. Like, there's this one time where I love this story so much, dude, like, I was just it was after school or something before rehearsal, and I think we were outside, but I don't remember where we were, but I was just walking, and you were walking too, and we crossed paths, and you had, earbuds in, and I was like, "Hey, what are you listening to?" And you were like, "A metronome." I'm like, "What?"
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And eh I was like, "How long?" And you were like, "Yeah, like 2 hours or something." I was like, "Jordan, what are you listening to a microphone for 2 hours?" Not a microphone, a metronome. And you were like, "I'm marking time." And it's at face value, it's like, "Okay, that's stupid," but right when you start thinking about it, it's like, "Hmm, that's some dedication right there.
Yeah.
That is some dedication." And honestly, like, back to just, like, the interpersonal connection I had with you, like, it was awesome getting to know you because I didn't really know you before, and we were all immature back then, like, I had all these problems back in the day, and, I mean, you did too, we all did,
Yep.
but as we kind of went through marching band, climbed the ranks, like, you got to bass drum, and I became a marimba, and then section leader, then you became section leader, even though that was past my time. Just I saw how you grew. Like, you're one of the only people in my life that I've seen consistently, like, incrementally grow, like, from, like, just an immature kid like me and everyone else to just a man, like, somebody who enjoys what he does, works hard, has integrity. Like, holy crap, dude. Like, I'll let you continue on because I this was quite the tangent, but and it really goes to show how practice does improve people.
Mhm.
But this
And
is
I
just me saying, "Well done, man. Well done."
Thank you. And I do wanna add one more thing before I move on. Practice
Yeah.
doesn't even have to be it doesn't even be like it doesn't have to even be conscious practice. Like, I believe you practice becoming a better person as you grow up. Like, you learn from the others around you. Practice isn't only just,
Mhm.
like, sitting there and getting so and, like and just repeating something over and over again. It's also learning from the
Right.
people around you. Um, and it took me a long time to learn that, a very long time.
Yeah.
Um But yeah, I feel like that's also something that can be applied to the definition of practice that I did not say earlier when you first asked
Yeah,
me.
just learning.
Yeah.
I
Um,
remember I my performancing? My performance skills got better just watching you.
I feel like, like, when you say, like, I was pulsing so much, like, it was uncomfortable for me. But it was like, I'm having fun. I
Yeah.
wasn't used to having fun in that kinda sense. I
Mhm.
was used to having fun in my own little quiet corner, um, and not in front of other people. Uh, but I feel like marching band helped me break out of my shell a little bit. Um,
Yeah.
but that's all I'll say about marching band, because I do want to talk about what I practice in my daily life.
Yeah, let's
Uh,
go let's, transition then.
yeah. So first things first, I am a gamer. I'm a hardcore gamer. No, I do play a lot of video games, but I will not say I am very good at them. Uh, I've gotten better, but I am not very good at video games that are like FPSs. Um,
Yeah, first person shooter.
yeah, those types of video games are like way over my head. I'm just here. I'm just there with my friends, just vibing. I guess like that's the best way I can describe it. Like I'll get a
Mm.
kill here and there sometimes. I'll pop off here and there sometimes, but um, other than that, I'm not like a world class player.
Yeah, I'm
However,
not really good at video games either.
however, there is one video game called called Osu. Aiden Rowley plays it a lot, and I also play it a lot.
Mhm. It's a rhythm
Um,
game, right?
yes, yeah. At the beginning of quarantine, at the beginning of quarantine, I had never played Osu before. And it's all about like clicking circles, uh, very very fast.
Right, it's
And
it's a rhythm game.
it's a rhythm game. Um, and I was so bad at it. But I think I've logged over 3,000 hours on that game.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I've
Jeez,
logged over. God.
3,000?
Yep.
My god.
Yeah. Um, I logged over 3,000 hours in that game, and I barely even noticed myself. But like sometimes I'll realize I'm able to play 5-star songs now. And just so you know, beginner songs start at like 0.1.
Mm,
Um, And 5-star songs are those are the songs you would start seeing on like if you were to look up Osu, and like look up gameplay of it, lot like they're the hard songs, they're the hard looking
the
songs.
hardcore, like, YouTube videos you see of, like, perfect run, no misses,
Yeah, yeah.
insanely
The
fast, expert mode.
Yeah, it's the levels like that. And I barely even notice it, but I've gotten to the point where I use Osu, I use those types of levels just to take time to think to myself. I'm not even thinking about the level at that point. I'm passing them, but I'm talking to myself and I'm talking through my feelings about some stuff. And it's like time for it's I decompress through those hard levels.
It's like
And
a therapeutic in a sense.
yeah, I sometimes feel like these levels are supposed to be challenging, but they're not for me anymore. Keyword not anymore.
Yeah,
Because those levels were way beyond my reach, when I first started playing.
right.
Um, and it's just I think 3,000 hours, I think that says for itself. Like, that's a lot of time. Um,
Those are amateur numbers.
that's a lot of time that I took out on that game. But,
Yeah.
I think the thing is, I think I have so much time in that game and I probably should have said this before, but I learn and I can get better at stuff, but, I feel like the people around me, they get better at stuff so much quicker than me. And I live with the philosophy of if I have to work twice as hard if I wanna get half as far. And I think that's why I think that's also part of why I want to practice so much.
Mm.
Um, upon the many other reasons that I have, but I feel like that's a core philosophy that if I ever have children, I probably will teach them. Like, if you want to get half as far, you have to work twice as hard to get half as far as some other people, because some
Do you
people
think
just
that's
have a lot of
unfair?
talent. Um, I wouldn't say unfair. I think it's just how it is. Like, if it's
Okay.
like that, then it is what it is. Um,
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
yeah. And I really like that saying, like, cause my godfather taught it to me. Um, yeah, he's passed now, but my godfather, he taught me that phrase when I was very, very young, and, I've remembered it ever since, and, I've always lived by it ever since as well.
Right.
Um, and I think that's also something that pushes me to keep going.
I
Like
mean, if you think about it in a sense, the people who just work hard regularly, like if we're going off of that phrase, people who
mhm,
just work regularly, maybe they'll pass you, but because you work so hard just to get to half of where they are, you've picked up so many extra skills and ideas and mindsets that they couldn't possibly have developed, at least at the length you have. Because while you've been taking that extra time and extra effort to get to where they are, they just like went there. Because they're going so fast, they miss all of these extra steps. But you figure out, oh, okay, I need to take my time with this. You discover your drive and why you care. You discover all these little things, you know?
yeah,
Isn't that more
um
valuable if you think about it?
I believe it is. I completely agree, like, the amount of stuff I've the little tips and tricks I could even say that I've picked up along the way with so many different things because I've done them so much,
Right.
uh, I feel like those are invaluable to me, and I want to and to the people out there who are younger than me, or the people out there who are the same age as me, or anyone really, like, I want people to learn about those. I don't want to be better than other people. I want everyone to be as good as a person as they can be.
Mhm.
That sounds really good, but, like, that's just me and my own insecurities. Because if everyone's not as good as they possibly can be, I feel like what coulda gone differently? Like, what happened? And, it makes me sad when I see someone not reach their full potential, um, all because they
Because you
didn't
see
know so
potential, right?
yeah, like, I'm not gonna say, like, "I am a master at life," or I am a sage, I'm a great sage, I know
The
everything there is
expert.
to know, because I don't, at all. I'm literally only 17, and I feel like I don't want people thinking that about me either. I just want people to know that I'm here to help you, or I am here to, help teach you some stuff you may not know. And if you teach me something I don't know, then even better. Like,
Right.
I can spread those teachings everywhere. Um, and it's like, if people don't try their best, then I feel like why even try at all? Because if you're not gonna like, your best may not be enough, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But if you don't like, if you're not trying your best, then don't even try at all, because you might as well not even do it. Because
Mm.
if you still have something more to give, then do it. Like, why not give it your all? Like, if you can give me a reason why not to give it your all, then I'd love to hear it, but I don't think there is one, honestly.
It's such a moral dilemma like that, what you're describing. And I think I've described this in a previous episode, but I've noticed this with myself with singing, as singing's a very intimate instrument. I think I described that last episode actually, but
Ah,
it's it's a very confidence-based instrument. Like you can sing better when you feel confident, when you feel comfortable. When you're nervous, it shows, you know?
mhm,
I mean, obviously that confidence applies to other instruments as well cuz you can choke on anything. But with this, it's like it's an entirely produced by you, like your voice and inside of you and your feelings rather than like your technique, if that makes sense.
yeah, and
So
I think confidence plays a part of everything, really. Like,
right,
if you're nervous
there's
about
that.
something, you just won't do good.
Yeah, and I've noticed that when you feel uncomfortable or embarrassed when you're in like a group setting, at least for me, I'm coming from my own experience, but I've also noticed it too. Like you sing worse automatically because you're afraid that you're going to be embarrassed when you sing your full potential and people don't think it's good. But because of that fear, you sing worse so people know you sing poorly. Like, it's just this catch-22 right there. And I've noticed, like, these people that I've, worked with in, like, an a cappella group and everything, they have so much potential. I mean, you see how expressive they are in their TikTok videos that they do, which kinda hurts inside to watch, but I'll give it that, they're expressive, and I've heard them sing, they have really great potential, but when we're in rehearsal, they just stand there and don't do anything, and it's like, on one hand, I can't criticize at all. I've been there. I mean, I haven't actually this is the first year that I've done anything choral related. I'm self-taught, so I never sang with anybody, um, so yeah, it's a very unique experience, but I've learned exactly what you expressed, that I need to be my best because why not? Like, why should I be anything worse than my best, you know? Like,
Yeah.
if I'm here to showcase myself, if I'm here to get better, they need to hear my full potential. And I remember this was a recent moment, like only a few weeks ago, but I was auditioning for a part to sing Hey Jude, which is the song we're doing now, like the solo for it. And there's like a high part, and I dropped down. Like I dropped down an octave. So I tried not to sing the high part. And then my teacher was like, I think you can do it. And deep down, I know I can do that because like when I'm alone, I can and I'm feeling great, I can hit all kinds of high notes. But to do it in front of somebody, it's so like you have to dig deep. So what I did was I tried. I really tried. I tried to focus. And at that moment, I was like singing the part before the high note, and I just went for it. And it was like one of those moments. Have you ever had one of those moments where you just feels like you're like dead for a second, like you just lose consciousness?
Yeah.
But then when you reconnect to reality, it's like, holy crap, that was awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Um,
I just did that in front of somebody, and that was great. I didn't choke, and she was like, "Yeah, you did it." I was like, "Holy crap, dude."
and I feel like I experience that as well, a lot as well. Like, whenever I'm complimented on something, and this is just literally with anything,
Yeah.
I can feel like I feel like myself I feel like I need to protect myself because like, I personally don't know how to take compliments, and that's something I'm still working on.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like I've gotten a lot better at it, but I used to be like I used to be at the point where I would just disconnect myself from reality during the entirety of, like, when they're saying the compliment, and then, like,
Yeah.
I would reconnect when they're done, and I'd say, "Thank you." But now these days, I'm trying to take those compliments, and I'm like, "Thank you," but I still don't know exactly what I should say, and
Yeah.
and it's really uncomfortable, but I feel like it's something that I need to learn how to do.
I
Um
mean, compliments are criticism if you think about it.
Yeah, it's
It's
just
just good.
I'm so used to receiving so much bad criticism for multiple reasons that, like, I don't know how to take good criticism.
Fair enough. But,
Yeah.
I mean, you're still practicing, you know?
Yep. I still practice every single day. Um, and also, the college I got into, Badger Band for, UW-Madison, uh,
Mhm.
I got in, and, I'm gonna be on the bass line again.
Oh, okay. Are you going there?
Yeah, I'm going to, University of Wisconsin-Madison. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
And,
Um,
you said baseline, right?
yep.
Dang. So the story continues, right?
Yep, the story still continues. You thought I was done? Nah.
I'm coming back. A new season
A new season coming soon.
coming soon. You'll have to show your peers this episode to see where you came from.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I actually probably will definitely do that. Um, but I think I want to focus more on getting better at computer engineering because that's the dream I want to follow. But music will always, and I mean always, be part of me. Um,
Yeah.
because I feel like when I listen to music, I feel like I can. I can feel the emotion that I can obviously feel the emotion that the singer was feeling when they sing it, but I
Mhm.
also can feel the emotion of just myself. Sometimes I feel like, what am I feeling right now? And then those are times I feel like I listen to music. Um,
Yeah.
and I think the entirety of this conversation was about music. I'm realizing that now. Um,
Right, but, that's just a part of us specifically,
that is true.
and it was a good MacGuffin to talk about practice.
Yeah. Um, I really wish I could word better how much I actually practice and then how important practice is to me. Um, but I can't. There are no words to describe
Like,
how.
expressing the magnitude of it.
Yeah, like, the magnitude of which of, not only how much I practice, but just how important practice is. Um,
Yeah.
I would need an English major to, try and find that word.
Or maybe another language.
Yeah,
One that expresses it differently than English can.
perhaps music.
Yeah, there you go. I was thinking that too. It's like, well, music can express the, unarticulated thoughts that clouds our mind.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that's all I really had to say on practice, and it was fun talking to you, Casey.
Yeah, thanks for coming on here, man.
No problem.
Uh,
And I just wanted to say one more thing.
sure.
Uh, Even if you can't practice, always have a dream or always have a goal. And if you don't know what your goal is, find it. Go out there and find it. Um, because I feel like that's the most important thing. Practicing is just a way to get to your goal, but having a goal is the most important thing.
How do you think people can find one?
Go out there and try new stuff, or, well, I mean, yeah, that's it. Like, go out there and try new stuff, and just learn and figure out what you like and figure out what you don't. And
Right.
then once you find something you like, find out a way to get better at it, and yeah, just start making goals and how you can become the very best.
That no one ever was.
Bum, bum, ba-dum. Okay.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. Yeah, so the
uh,
good old throw the ball at the wall until it sticks.
yep. And thank you for letting me come on here, because I really did enjoy getting to talk to you about this.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad you had a lot of insightful things to say.
Yeah. I was concerned I wasn't going to be able to say them properly, but I think I got them. I think I got
I
my
think you
point
did a
across.
good job.
All right, that's good.
You're practicing, man. I mean, you're practicing your speech.
Yeah. I don't think I stutter as much as I did before, but I still do stutter a lot, like I just did in that sentence.
Well, I mean, you were also thinking about stuttering, so that
That is
kind of
true.
it's like the psychology behind you are now manually blinking.
Stop. Oh my god.
Are you doing it now?
Yes. Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening, everyone, and I'll see you guys next time.